Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Yasharal, Living Orders and Commands. It is an end-time series to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Creator, the Almighty Father Yahuwah. It is a message to you, whom I consider my brothers, my sisters, those who have come to know that no man can come unto the Father except through the sacrifice one, Yahushua Messiah, Yahuwah's word manifest in the flesh, in the person, in the man, Yahushua. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. Today is February 23rd, 2015, and this segment of Yasharal, Living Orders and Command, is entitled Two Promises, One Side. My brothers and sisters, whether we believe it or not, there is only one set-apart side. Yes, we know that Yasharal is divided on many fronts, that there are people pursuing true righteousness, true set-apartness, representing many different religious beliefs and doctrines and teachings. But there is only one set-apart side that represents the Almighty Creator, the Almighty Father. And it is for that reason I am compelled to bring to your attention two promises, one side. Two promises, one side. There's a promise to the set-apart children of obedience, the children of the Almighty Father who seek to do His will. A promise made from the Almighty Father. And there's a promise made to the rebellious. End times are here. There's a promise to the set-apart children of obedience, which relates to being refined, being disciplined, being shaped into the image of the Almighty Father. And there's a promise to the disobedient, the rebellious, the wicked, a promise of wrath. Soon and very soon, individuals will either identify with being refined or facing wrath. There are no middle grounds, my brothers and sisters. True active discernment will prove the fruit of one's decisions as to whether they have chosen to focus on the Almighty Father and receive His discipline, His refinement, and preparedness to fulfill what He has promised regarding being gathered from the four corners of the earth and gathered to a safe place, or whether we lose these bodies, these earthen bodies, for Yahushua's sake as martyrs. We will face life immeasurably, as promised. But there is also the promise of wrath that will indeed prove to cause weeping, pain, regret, and much more. Consider these words, my brothers and sisters. Please note, we will find ourselves on one side or the other, with no middle ground. Either we will be among those who will come to be identified as being disciplined, refined, and perfected in the image that the Most High Father has ordered us, or we will find ourselves entangled in the wrath of the Almighty One Yahuwah. End times are here. One promise made to Yasharal is to gather us from the four corners of the earth. Who have come to anticipate and expect that these prophecies will be fulfilled? Who is among you who think they have been fulfilled, but yet still believe something similar will occur again? And if you are one who are faced with unbelief, I strongly encourage you to seek to discern whether or not you believe the Almighty Father will gather His children from the four corners of the earth before the return of Yahushua Messiah. I invite you to read Isaiah 11:12. And He shall raise a banner for the nations and gather the outcasts of Yasharal and assemble the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. If you recall, the Messiah Himself said that those who seek to do the will of His Father is His family. I submit to you, true Yasharal who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father will be consistent of Hebrews or Abri and Gentiles and Goyim who seek to do His will and who are called to fulfill His tasks. Isaiah 43:5 and 6 and 7 say, Do not fear, for I am with you. I shall bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I shall say to the north, Give them up, and to the south, do not keep them back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. All those who are called by my name, whom I have created, formed, even made for my esteem. Jeremiah 23:3 Therefore I shall gather the remnant of my flock out of all the lands where I have driven them, and shall bring them back to their fold, and they shall bear and increase. Ezekiel 34:11-13. For thus said Master Yahuwah, see, I myself shall search for my sheep and seek them out. As a shepherd seeks out his flock on the day he is among his scattered sheep, so shall I seek out my sheep and deliver them from all the places where they are scattered in a day of cloud and thick darkness. And I shall bring them out from the peoples and gather them from the lands, and shall bring them to their own land. And I shall feed them on the mountains of Yasharal, in the valleys, and in all the dwellings of the land. Pray, my brothers and sisters, a promise has been made to the scattered flock of the children of Yahuwah. Come to believe, come to accept, come to discern that there is much work, many details that must come to be. In a previous recording, I presented the notion, the idea, the thought of what I believe that shipping containers, container ships can hold large mass of people in containers that have been vented and custom to transport large numbers of people. I believe somewhere in excess of 25,000 or more could be on a container per container ship, as opposed to one airplane with a maximum capacity of 550 or so. I mention this for this thought came to mind in recent days. Within the last 30 days, it's like the Spirit of Yahushua had put on my mind container ships. And he had brought to mind the thought of looking at the shipping lanes and how frequent container ships cross the Atlantic Ocean going towards the Eastern Hemisphere, going towards the continent of Africa, going towards the Mediterranean. And I wonder, my brothers and sisters, as I prayed and pondered, it stuck with me. And I believe that we may find ourselves being shipped to our homeland via container ships. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Pray and watch. We know that there will be 144,000 Hebrews of Arbri who will emerge. And those who understand and come to see the life in Revelation 7th chapter will also come to expect a great multitude. And I submit to you, as end times become severe and intense, as habitable places on this planet roll up like a scroll, and we find ourselves facing forced migration and forced transitions, we will witness how we will be transported to the promised land. We will also witness how there will be wicked ones who will be transported to the European and the northern African countries to fulfill the final march against the children of Yahuwah. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. There are things that are vivid to some, and there are things that are yet to be made clear and known to others. I honestly believe the children of obedience will come to witness an emergence of the Spirit of Yahushua. We will find ourselves gathered together. As for me and my house and many others, we have come to anticipate and expect the final exodus. I am personally compelled to believe that during end times, habitable places will become small as compared to widespread habitats on this planet now. Global warming and climate change, along with the fruit of wars and the conditions regarding drought, fresh water shortages, and lack of food, along with natural disasters and nuclear bombs, will prove to contribute towards the degradation of this planet. And we will witness Revelation 6:8 and 9:18, where a fourth of the planet will be killed. And then in later time, a third of the planet. We will witness the habitable places roll up like a scroll. And we will see all attention and all eyes and all habitat directed towards the area we now know as the Middle East. There are two promises made as these things begin to unfold: the promise of wrath and the promise of gathering the children of obedience. The promise of refinement. There's no doubt in my mind regarding many details that must come into visibility in order to fulfill what is written. These details require actions from the simplest to the most severe, and we will witness all that have been promised, prophesied, written, and spoken from the Spirit of Yahushua will come to reality. Yasharal, true Yasharal, consisting of both Hebrews and Gentiles, or Abri and Goyim, who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, will discover among the ranks a group that will come to be known as the children of obedience, who will face the promise of being gathered from the four corners of the earth to a safe place to await the physical return of Yahushua Messiah. My brothers and sisters, who is able to discern the life in 1 Thessalonians 5th chapter verse 9 and 10? It says, because the Almighty One did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain deliverance through our Master Yahushua Messiah, who died for us so that we, whether awake or asleep, should live together with him. The asleep, I submit to you, represents those who died, who had chosen to pursue the will of the Almighty Father. But for whatever reason, they face a physical death. And those that are awake, we will face refinement, my brothers and sisters, continued refinement. Yasharah will be gathered. We will be structured. There will be discipline. There will be unity. End times will prove to grow intense, with drought becoming more widespread and prolonged. We will witness famine, food shortages begin to rise before our very eyes across the planet in a larger footprint than what we see now. Pestilence and disease will continue to rise, and soon pandemics will erupt like never before seen. We will witness civil unrest, chaos, violence, increased death, economic collapse, and much more igniting. To the children of Yahuwah, the children of obedience, the children who follow the spirit of Yahushua, we will come to either face death as martyrs for Yahushua's name, or we will be among the ranks of those gathered from the four corners of the earth, not appointed to the wrath of the Almighty Father. As for those who are disobedient, as those who rebel, a different end awaits you. We will witness an active population in the coming days, more active than before, as individuals scramble to determine what must be done, which direction to go, with whom, and how they should govern themselves, and how we should be governed. The children of obedience, we will identify discipline, a rise in discernment, and emergence of the presence of the Spirit of Yahushua working in us, one towards another, and through his chosen leaders, and or sent messengers. Yes, my brothers and sisters, two promises. A promise to gather, a promise of refinement, a promise of life immeasurable. And the other promise, a promise of vengeance, a promise of wrath. What side would you be on? Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Choose wisely. There will be the wicked who will continue to fight to their last breath. My brothers and sisters, as we witness a more active population, there will be obstacles forming, fighting against set of partners. There will be those who will kill our brothers and sisters, who will kill brothers and sisters who are ordered to fulfill what is written regarding martyrdom for Yahushua's name. Persecution and martyrdom is real, and it will grow among the set-apart children of Yahuwah. There will also be brothers and sisters, yes, brothers and sisters, who will fall away, be led astray, delivered to Satan for the destruction of the flesh in order that their spirits may be saved. Those who will fit the description of being given to the working of delusions due to wrong decisions made. But there will also be the set-apart children of Yahuwah who will face many extreme challenges, but will interpret it as being refined, disciplined, and perfected for the sake of the sovereignty of Yahushua. There will be acts as we witness the structuring of the wicked. There will be things they would be doing as they are brought together to serve the anti-Messiah and false prophet with their beast system, those who will march against the children of obedience. But we will very well witness the children of obedience become refined, disciplined, repent, and rise up, fulfilling the prophecy of being gathered from the four corners of the earth and directed to the promised land. There's a promise made, my brothers and sisters, to the children of obedience. Hear these words. Hebrews 12:5 and 6. And you have forgotten the appeal which speaks to you as sons. My son, do not despise the discipline of Yahuwah, nor faint when you are reproved by him. For whom Yahuwah loves, he disciplines and flogs every son whom he receives. Dropping down to the 11th verse, Hebrews 12th chapter. And indeed, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but grievous. But afterwards it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. And consider the promise of Revelation 3:19. For as many as I love, I reprove and discipline. So be ardent and repent. Who is able to realize that the emergence of the 144,000 and a great multitude will be by the orders, by the word of the Most High? Not a maybe, not a might, but a precise fulfillment of Scripture. We will witness an emergence of the 144,000 Hebrews, Abari, or some may say Abri, and Gentiles, grafted together as one by Yahushua Messiah under one banner. That banner will be Yasharal. An awakening nation is emerging before our very eyes with all proof. Who is able to see the promise that exists regarding our refinement? I have no doubt those focused on the Spirit of Yahushua will come to identify the refining process, and we will come to worship and obey and fulfill what is written regarding being gathered from the four corners of the earth or facing martyrdom for Yahushua's name. Keep in mind, the Most High Father has promised refinement and discipline. But just as he has promised refinement and discipline to his children, he has promised wrath to the wicked, to the rebellion, to those who succumb to evil. Who is able to understand the comparison between discipline and wrath? Allow me to present the following. Luke 21:22 says, because these are days of vengeance to fulfill all that have been written. That was Luke 21:22. Romans 12:19 say, beloved, do not revenge yourself, but give place to the wrath, for it has been written, vengeance is mine, I shall repay, says Yahuwah. Ezekiel 7:8 says, soon I shall pour out my wrath and shall complete my displeasure upon you and judge you according to your ways and repay you for all your abominations. That was Ezekiel 7:8. Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait for me, declares Yahuwah, until the day I rise up for plunder. For my judgment is to gather nations, to assemble reigns, to pour out on them my rage, all my burning wrath. For by the fire of my jealousy, all the earth shall be consumed. Notice he talks about the gathering of nations, assembling of reigns. I submit to you, as the world roll up like a scroll, as the habitable places roll up like a scroll, we will see the wicked gather. We will see the fulfillment of a final gathering in the valley of Megiddo as they prepare and plan to march against the set-apart children of obedience who will be in a safe place. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. All will be revealed. And you may very well be surprised as to your number, your identity, the tasks that are required of you, of me, of Yasharal. Many surprises are over the horizon, and they will come with proof, with orders, not maybes, not suggestions, orders that will be fulfilled. Who do you think will win? The Almighty Father, executing his right rulings and his orders to fulfill his words, or us being stiff-necked in rebellion? Pray and watch, for the Almighty Father will prove the life in Isaiah 55:11. He will prove the life in his words. He will prove his promises to be true. Two promises made, one of discipline and one of wrath. What side will you be on? Cannot be on both sides. We cannot serve two masters, and there are no middle grounds. One side we will witness, rise up in the power and might of set-apartness through the Spirit of Yahushua. One side is worth speaking of, and that is the side of the children of obedience. Those who will emerge among the 144,000 and great multitude as written in Revelation 7 chapter. Yes, there are two promises. And who has come to anticipate the fulfillment of these promises? What side will you take? What side are you on? Remember, not all these different camps are right. Not all the divisions among us, not everyone is right. There's one side. Who is delivering the message, the words, the teachings, the practices of one set apart by Yahushua Messiah? Who is answering the questions of details of what must be done regarding preparing for what is unfolding before our very eyes? Who among us are able to discern the practices, the teachings that are truly correct? Are we willing to lay our life before the Almighty Father as a living sacrifice, as an offering before Him, standing firm on the things we believe to be true? Pray and watch. Seek to discern and make sure that the decision you make is indeed the right one. For soon and very soon we will see proof emerge. Have you begun to seek out those who are truly chosen of the Most High to present His words, His teachings, who have been given the instructions to present His word in whole? Or are you among those who walk among compromising teachings and practices with the excuse that you're not going to find a perfect assembly, group, or camp? We are ordered to pursue with earnestly set apartness through Yahushua Messiah, to focus on Him and watch Him draw all men to Himself. And if He works in us, through us, one towards another, as He draws us to Him, we should face one another hand in hand as we are drawn together by Yahushua Messiah, by His set-apart Spirit. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters, for these are the days of refinement. And remember 1 Peter 4:17, because it is time for judgment to begin from the house of the Almighty One. And if firstly from us, what is the end of those who do not obey the good news of the Almighty One? Choose your side, O Yasharal, for there is only one side that matters. There is only one side that represents set apartness. Pray and watch. Two promises are intensifying each day. The promise of wrath has begun. The promise of refinement has begun. What side will you be on? There is only one side, my brothers and sisters, that matters. Proof comes. Proof. We will witness a rise in chosen leaders of the Spirit of Yahushua. We will witness Him work and speak through us one towards another. We will come to yield as we are humbled as end-time conditions become so intense, so extreme. We who are among the children of Yahuwah will understand these are humbling times of refinement, and we will rise up in our physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional weakness. We will rise up in the strength of the Spirit of Yahushua. As we are weakened, He will be strengthened and emerge among us, one towards another. Collectively, we will represent the call from the four corners of the earth, the call to Yasharal. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Until next time, I pray that each of us establish an earnest mind and body to discern and respond with accuracy the living orders and commands from the Spirit of Yahushua to choose the right side, to seek out His set apartness, commands from the Spirit of Yahushua to recognize His two promises, to recognize His wrath will come, vengeance will come, and His promise to refine and discipline His children will come. What side will you be on, O Yasharal? What side, O listener to these words, have you chosen to embrace? For the words and the power of the Most High Father will be fulfilled. Pray and watch. End times have arrived. There will be no retreat, no pause, no turning back of end time prophecies. For they have begun, and man has come to realize that we are on an appointed time, a time of total extinction as we know it in these earthen vessels. Keep in mind the scriptures state we will put off the corruptible and put on the incorruptible. Will it be incorruptible to life immeasurable with Yahushua Messiah? Or will it be incorruptible unto everlasting damnation? What say you, O listener to these words? Choose wisely, for the evidence of proof is emerging with each passing day. Until next time, I invite you to continue tuning in to Yasharal, living orders and commands. Seek to discern the words from the Spirit of Yahushua. Seek to discern the life and the instructions from the Almighty Father. Pray and watch. And it is my prayer that anything that comes out of my mouth or any actions that I demonstrate are reflective of an obedient servant to Yahushua Messiah, and that he gets all esteem and credit, and that it is indeed he that is lifted up. Until next time, I invite you to continue tuning in, my brothers, my sisters, my family. Shalom, shalom, shalom.